Hello and welcome to one of my videos on DCS. Now, DCS or Digital Combat Simulator is a game that I've played on and off for the last few years. It's both excellent, but in some cases it can be a little bit frustrating. But it's probably my favorite flight simulator game that I've ever played. I played a little bit of IL-2. And that's great too, but there's something that just keeps bringing me back to DCS. So I play the World War II aircraft. They're the ones that I'm really interested in. I have very little interest in jet aircraft. Very little interest at all, actually. So I focus mostly on the World War II prop planes. Now, a map that is very good, which is excellent, is the Channel map, which includes the Channel, as the name implies, and the southeast of England, and the French coast, including Dunkirk and Calais. Now, what I've done here is I have pre-assigned the air bases, red being the red faction, in this case German, and blue being the British, the Allies. So the blue faction, if you will. So this is quite easily done by clicking on the airfield, and you can change the coalition. So here it's blue. I've also, in this map, I've put in some anti-aircraft emplacements around a number of places. Now this is Bofors, British anti-aircraft weapon. So I've put them around various spots in the southeast. I've put a number of them just around primarily the airfields, and also at radar towers, radar tower areas. Now if we zoom in, you can see this here is a radar tower. If we go to the satellite view, I say satellite, there we are, you can kind of see a little bit of the detail there. And the satellite view, for some reason in this map, is acting up. I'll show you what. See, it's turning some of the lakes black, and if I zoom all the way out, the whole thing goes black. Now that's only just started happening. I have no idea what's going on there, but if we switch back to altitude, that's fine. Now, what I'm going to do is, if all goes to plan, which it probably won't, but that's DCS. You kind of never know what's going to happen sometimes, particularly with playbacks, video playbacks. That's not even beginning to talk about the probability of me crashing and what have you. But I've placed 3 German fighters here, Bf 109s. There we are. This is the paint scheme that I've gone with. Jagdgeschwader 53, and they do just look absolutely glorious. This is one of the paint schemes that I downloaded. I can't remember who created it. Apologies, but you can get a whole host of different paint schemes that you can download from independent contributors. Out of the box, DCS doesn't give you ones with the swastika, for example, for probably fairly obvious reasons. But you can also set different things in terms of the weapon loadout, bombs, fuel tanks, and so on. This one I've given a fuel tank. Now my wingmen also appear to have fuel tanks as well, which is good. These are the units. I've got 3 of them. Number 1 is the player. That's me. So we're currently parked on the side of takeoff from ramp, as it says, as we're set here. And this one is really just my attempt at just doing a video. I've done videos in the past of combat and what have you, of replays, added soundtracks and all of that kind of thing. But this I just want to do as a little bit of a very, very simple, straightforward flight. And what I'm going to do is hopefully, the plan is I'm going to take off from here at Merville, Cologne. I don't think I've done a video of this particular map actually, so, and then I'm going to fly, what's that, northwest across to enemy territory here and see if I can fly past some anti-aircraft, not get shot down, all going well. That's why I've got my wingmen. Hopefully they can draw some of the fire, and then do a bit of a loop here, drop the fuel tank, the reserve fuel tank or the extra fuel tank, and then fly back again. So this is really just a demonstration video of the flight of the Bf 109. If I organise myself, I might give some commentary on how I take off, how I land, how I fly. But we'll see. I fly in VR. I've got a HTC Vive, second generation Vive, and so it means that I have to replay through the replay system. I can't figure out how to actually record directly from the VR without it just looking terrible. So I know there's ways to do it. Many lengthy explanations I've seen on different websites and what have you as to settings to change and stuff to do in Windows and all of that just to get that to work. But I just want to fly and I just want to record and just want to see if it actually works on playback. So without further ado, I'm going to drop out of the 2D world and then load up my VR and hit record and see if we can record it, and then yeah, come back and, all things going well, as I say, edit it all together. So thank you for watching this far if you have, and all going well, we'll actually get something going on here. Alright, bye for now. Welcome to the cockpit of the Bf 109. This I will go through some of the startup procedure, or the startup procedure that I do when I fly. I'll try and remember everything, but this will show you how I essentially get the aircraft in the air. First up is close the canopy. So the canopy was just closed there. That's done by using this handle here. Check the various controls. Make sure that the feet, the pedals work, and the stick and the control surfaces, ailerons, rudder, etc. and so forth. Then we go through over here, we activate the battery, we activate the radio, we activate the fuel pump, the generator is switched on, and as is the ignition, of course. Then we go through and start doing the pre-flight checks and switches. So first up is the prop pitch control. This button over here is the governor. Automatic on off. First it's in manual, you can't see it here. Switch it to the 12 o'clock position and then switch it onto auto. It'll go through to 12:30. Controls the prop pitch depending on the speed of the engine. Tail wheel lock goes on in the first instance. Then over here the radiator flaps are switched to open. Over here this is the starter. We get ready to pull that out. Then the fuel pump as well is switched on to both pumps. The throttle is moved forward a wee bit. We pump. I put quite a few pumps in there, usually do about a dozen. It's maybe too many, but works for me. Then magnetos 1 and 2 are switched on in preparation for requesting the ground crew to run the starter, which they should do, which I should tell them to do in a moment. Any second.
Run the starter.
And there we go.
Copy.
Now, so this is a recording of a flight that I did previously, so I'm going to try and remember everything that I did. It's not going to be the most exciting flight, but it's really just for those of you who are interested in sitting back and watching a flight over the Dunkirk map. They're running the starter. When they say clear, we pull out the starter, and hopefully she starts. Well, I know she starts because I remember the mission. And there we go, and she's off. Yep, so I overdid that a bit, but engine's running. Now, as you can see, I said that the flaps switch to open. Now that's them there. You can see one on the left and one on the right. It's the radiator flaps set into the open position. Once we get going, they'll be switched into automatic, and then they open and close depending on the heat of the engine. And I don't have to worry about that. So there we go. Switch that to slow pan. Now, I did have a bit of an issue here in terms of just getting going. The 109 is a bit of a dog to taxi, and as a consequence, even just getting it rolling off the grass can be a bit tricky. However, like I say, this is going to be an unedited video in terms of the time. This will be warts and all, beginning to end. So hang in there. Doesn't go for that long. I can't remember. Maybe half an hour, 45 minutes or so. That's if the recording worked out, because the DCS recordings are notoriously unpredictable in terms of how their replays go, where what happens in the mission can be very different to what happens in the replay. I am looking at this in the... Let me just pan elsewhere for the moment. Get away from the sound of the engine. I am replaying this, or I did this in multiplayer mode, and which apparently is more stable than doing the mission in single player and then replaying from single player. I have no idea why, but that seems to be the general discussion. If that's indeed the case, then we'll see. So, as you can see, I'm having a bit of difficulty even moving up the grass here. But looks like we're underway now. Now I end up actually taking off from a different airstrip than my flight. They go off to a different runway and take off from a different spot. See, off one goes there they go. Now I know I've got the bar along the bottom of the screen. I have tried deactivating that based on the controls that I've seen online for it, but it just doesn't work for me, so you're just going to have to live with the bar down the bottom. It does give you information such as RPM, pitch, heading, that sort of thing. So let's see if I can... Oh, sorry, that's me pressing F12. F12 goes to like train view, I think. Okay, here we go. So now I'm just gonna... Actually, I'm gonna go back in. I'm gonna show you we throttle up. There's a lot of foot pedal work going on during takeoff. Throttling up here. Now as we take off, we want to get up to around about approaching 200 kilometers per hour before we pull back on the stick. There is a lot of, particularly you need to use a lot of right pedal because of the torque. Our radiator flaps are switched to auto at this point. There we go, we're getting up to about 150 kilometers an hour. We should be pulling back on the stick very soon as you get the tail wheel come up. And as you can see, there we go, we're up in the air. Now the first thing that you do when you take off is you bring the wheels up. There they go. Now, as you can see, those radiator flaps are starting to close because they're switched on to automatic. Oop, a little wobbly in the air there, that's okay. And there we go, stabling out now, getting a bit of speed. Coming up to now, as you can see, the speed is coming up to 350 kilometers per hour. My wingmen are rolling, that means they're taking off now, so let's see if we can see them. Oh, there we go. This chap's taking off. Wheels up. And he's away. Now we take a look out the lefts. There's the airfield just there that we've taken off from. Now we have the Revy gun sight here. This can be folded away, but I find that when it's up I can see the... this is my... tells me whether I'm climbing or diving. So when this needle is in the up position from 0, it means we're climbing, we're gaining altitude. Down here we have the altitude. And when it's going down, it means that we are descending. As you can see, the compass rose is moving us around. It's a little bit all over the place because I'm tilting and turning. Here we have the altimeter. This has 0, 1, 2 and so on this little dial here. Now we're just under 1 kilometer high. In fact, we're 800 meters high. Now coming to 900 meters altitude, and when that gets around to there, it's 1 kilometer. And then 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5 and so on. I didn't mention the buttons for the landing gear. This is them here. This is for the flaps and the trim. So we've got the trim fully nose down at the moment. So the up, can't remember, and then the flaps are fully retracted. Let's get ourselves back into there. Alright, what else have we got here? Did I describe these? I can't remember. Engine temperature. This is the optimum range here between these 2 points. Here we have the oil temperature. Between these 2 points is the optimum range. Over here we have the fuel and the oil pressure gauges. Again, maximum, minimum, and maximum minimum for the pressure gauges. You do not want for these dials to drop below those minimum check marks. This here we have the artificial horizon pitch trim knob, and it is locked when you take off, and you have to open it up once you're up in the air in level flight, and then it displays how much you're rolling, how much you're turning, and so on and so forth. Here is the button that switches on the weapons. This is your remaining guns. Now this is for the paired machine guns. They're just on the top of the engine cowling. You also have a nose cannon, which is very powerful, which is right at the front here. You can see the dot. There we go. I just fired it. It's a test fire. That was good timing. That one does not have an ammo counter. Then that one does not last very long at all. Whereas here, when that little white line has gone down, that is when you have expired all of your machine guns. Now, this doesn't actually count. This doesn't record directly how many rounds you've got. This is set at the very beginning, your counter setting pinion. You raise it up, and it just simply drops this down each time you press the trigger, and that correlates with the number of rounds you've got. It's on the front, and it fires between the propeller blades, which always just blows my mind because that's pretty cool. Now, what else have we got in here that I need to point out? Over here is your methanol water sort of supercharge, the MW50 mix, which is methanol mixed with water. And when you go full throttle, and you've got this switched on, the boost on, so it's the boost. It gives you an extra injection of methanol water into the system, into the engine, which gives you a boost in horsepower, which is very useful when in a dogfight, and particularly if you're wanting to gain altitude, which is what this aircraft is all about, is so-called zoom and boom, or boom and zoom method, in that you sort of basically descend at great speed upon your unsuspecting enemy, zip right past it, and then gain altitude very quickly after getting off a few rounds. Now I'm just requesting that my wingmen go into different types of formations. I can't remember what I just asked them to do there. It could have been an echelon right or a finger four, I can't remember, but there they are. You can see them maintaining formation. Do a nice bit of a flyby there. And there they go. You can also go in a tail view. So the views really are quite nice in DCS that you can do. You can get some really nice cinematics. You can zoom in and out, particularly with the F2 function. Just a bit of network jittering there. One of the more recent updates of the World War II aircraft is the improvement on the animation for the propellers. So they're looking really nice these days. I mean, they were looking good before, but now they just look fantastic. So now we're just cruising along in a leisurely pace. So we keep the ATA at about 1. This is the engine revs, the RPMs at about 1500 or so, 10 to 1500. Oh, down here, because we have the fuel tank. This is your like auxiliary backup fuel from the fuel tank. You'll see this flowing through here if you look at it closely, but we can't see it closely at the moment. Your fuel gauge is down here behind the gun. You've got a little warning light that when that goes on, you've got something like 5 or so minutes before your fuel runs out. So that's quite handy. What else have we got in the cockpit here? That's pretty much it. There's not much to it. You've got your oxygen system over here. I don't have the oxygen switched on at the moment for some reason. And over here are your various radio settings. I think I run easy communication, so that one doesn't play too much into the game. Now here I'm just descending to get some low flying in, which is quite nice. So what I might try and do is I might try and get some possibly some low level up down in the countryside. There we go. Now can we see? So we should. Oh, there we are. Nice. Let's see if we can do a bit of a flyby here. better, but anyway. Ooh. Alright, let's try another one. Oh, I'm over there now. Let's just zip ahead a little bit. Let's say we're just sitting in the, just over here, just enjoying a nice bit of a picnic. Where are we? Yep. Okay, I can see where I'm looking now. Oh, it's nice down here by a canal. Nice peaceful. Oh, what's that over there, over towards the horizon? There they go. Now the Dunkirk map is really nice. It's got some very nice buildings and graphics. Over here we have a bit of a port going on. And as you can see, they put a fair bit of detail into the structures. It's really quite nice. Bit of a clock tower there. Oh, I think I can see us over there in the distance. Not quite sure how close we get to this town, but I've completely lost us again. May have started to... Oh no, I can see us off in the distance there. That's right, let's go back in the pocket. Oh yeah, we're kind of like moving out. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Now we're flying over the... flying over said town. There's the clock tower that I was referring to over there somewhere. There it is, I think. As you can see, just enjoying a nice leisurely flight. Over the citizens of wherever this is. Should put some U-boats in there. Oh, and you've got various fishing vessels. Let's go have a closer look at them. There we go. Oops, that looks rather nice, doesn't it? Oh, there they go, the 109's off to Old Blighty, which you can see over there on the horizon. So you can get some nice shots here. Models are looking very nice. Now, as you can see, England is not very far away at all at this point in the channel. And so we're getting pretty close. I think we're going to do a new formation request. Finger 4. So they'll move into a finger 4 formation. So called because if you imagine if you hold your palm out, the planes essentially assume the positions at the tips of the fingers, kind of a staggered arrangement, which gives good coverage across between the planes in a formation. Good cover. There they are. Now, where are we? So, oh, there we go. Look at that. The White Cliffs of Dover are not too far away. Now, there are enemy anti-aircraft emplacements, if you can remember from... Oh, there we go, we're having a look at the map. If you can remember from the setup of the map, over the air bases and radar tower installations, I plonked half a dozen or so anti-aircraft Bofors various places. Now let's see if we can have a look at those. Oops. Oh gosh. No, that's the map button. We don't want that one. There we go. This is a Bofors. Now, actually, if I go to the map button, I think... Ooh, let's see. So this is the map. If I go... The ones that are going to be doing the most action are the ones here. So, I think if I click on it, and then click F7, I think this is the one... Oh yeah, there we go, look at that. I think this is the one that I've selected, it actually goes. So these are the radar towers that I was discussing in the setup. This is the spot where I have placed anti-aircraft in installations such as this. Oof. Okay, so another formation change. Now there may be a possibility that we'll see. Okay. Yep, so here we are, that's an anti-aircraft, a British Bofors. Looks rather nice, doesn't it? Where are we? Here we go. Not too far now. Just having a look at the map. Allow me to get into a position, give you a bit of a better view. Here we are. I wonder if... Now, has that put me back to the Bofors that I was looking at before? I think it has, actually. I think it's put me back to the same one, which is rather good, because these are the ones that I think will be doing most of the firing. So it'd be quite nice to get some shots of them getting at us as we fly past. Alright, that's where they are. They're over there. That's the spot that we're... So we're essentially going to fly down through here. I think I take a bit of a pot shot at a train. I don't think I destroy it, but I'm not even sure if I hit it. We're going to see if we can get some nice footage of that. I'm going to try not to pause it, but I may pause it just to get a better camera angle, just to show you some of the different perspectives. So this video is really just about me rabbiting on about how I do things and this particular mission. If there's anyone out there who's interested in watching this to its completion, and if they find any of this of use. Oh, there's the train. So now what I'm going to do is, as you can see, I am lining up to have a go at this chap down here. So I am... Let's have a look. Oh gosh, that's chuffing backwards. Well, now that shouldn't be. That's a bit strange. I guess they do things differently on this side of the channel. Okay, so hopefully we might see me take a run. Oh, here I come. Here we go. Let's see if I get any shots in here. Oof. Oh. I pretty much, by the looks of it, missed it completely. However, I do come in for a second pass, so let's... I thought so, because I recall when I did have a shot at it, it kept going, and I thought, you got to be kidding me. Now that was with both the machine guns, paired machine guns, and the nose cannon. I think This is where I tell my flight to attack. Engage the air defences, which I don't know if they're actually doing, but anywho. So coming back around. Where is she? Now, I think it's... There it is, there it is, there it is. Okay. So let's have a look and see if we get any more. Oops, that's... Oof. Yeah, I've switched off the ground collision just to enable better camera captures. That enables you to get like right down in the dirt. Oh, here we go. Oof. Okay, we hit the engine then. But alas, she still keeps on going. Now, what about these fellows? Are they getting interested yet? I can hear... Oh, here we are. There I am, flying around up there. Oh, and they're preparing to fire. Here we go. And that's their shots getting off there. Missing me, thankfully. I turned and banked away, flew away, try and get some distance. Now I set the difficulty of these various AAAs to... Ooh, this one might be in a little bit of trouble. This one might be in even more trouble. Oh, that was very close, no? I dropped my fuel tank when I reached the UK. You can see he's still got his fuel tank. But if we go to me, I've got no fuel tank. I dropped it just to increase maneuverability, even though it's not too much of a critical issue. Now he's flying again a little bit close for comfort. Are they getting prepared to fire again? No, they are not. Okay. Oh, here we go. There we go. He's dicing with death, this fellow. And he's flying far too level. Oh, he's down. That was a strong hit. He's flying far too badly. Leaking fuel, probably. He's not long for this world. He'd be returning to base now, and miraculously dodging these shots. But flying straight and level like this is not what you want to be doing. Some good shots they're getting up there, but they're just missing. So he's out of range. There's a bit of nice flying past the white cliffs. A few shots at the lighthouse. That is essentially it for my... Oh, there we are, there's another wingman. How's the other chap going? Not so well. Still leaking fuel. He probably won't make it back. In fact, I don't think he does. I'm now coming around, and we're going to head back to France. All the systems looking good, nominal, temperature's good, pressure's good, everything's running well. He's fine. This chap not so great. There he goes. As you can see, riddled with holes and leaking fuel or oil or both. Unlikely to make it back. Flying back into the sunrise. England behind us. That wingman's doing well. And he's still with us. Still with us. There we are. I don't know if you can see over in the distance there. Take a look at that damage. Very nice damage modelling in this simulator, I've got to say. Yeah, got really strafed quite badly on the port side, underneath as well. See right through to the sky on through his wing. That's not a good sign ever. Actually, is he still spewing out? I don't see any more trail behind him, which is not a good sign. It says to me that he's lost all of his oil or fuel. It can't be the fuel because his engine will cut out completely. Whatever it was he's leaking has emptied out. So that would not be good. Watch him for a couple of minutes here, see what happens. Still going. Right now I'm just requesting some navigational assistance through the radio, what heading to follow to get back to base. Oh, looks like he's descending. Yeah, here we go. Oops, ooh. What is he doing? He appears to be flying rather erratically. I don't know why. No, he's still going. You can see him just there. I don't know if you can see that little spot. That's him. Just waiting to see him kind of go down. Again, just cruising along. And I don't know if you can see me in the background. There we go, got to just directly above the canopy. That's me and the other member of the flight. Ooh, that does not sound good. And there we go. And he's out. Did you see his parachute deploy? I did not see his parachute deploy. Oh, no, he's still in there. That's not a good sign. Oh, he's gonna try and do an emergency landing. Oh, look out for the tree. Well played. And there's another tree. Ooh! Ow! No. Ooh. Do you think he's okay? I don't think he's okay. Is he okay? No. 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 He's dead. That's very dead. Very dead and very on fire. Very much so. Well, it was nice knowing you, sir. Can we see the smoke from here? That could be it over there. It's possibly a bit of smoke over there, I don't know. And then there were two. So now we're coming into our airfields. It's a bit annoying every time if you're doing the view like this and in-game bring up the radio controls, it will bring up the cursor. There you go, you see? Not great for cinematic filming. So if you're wanting to record in DCS and you don't want the cursor to come up, just don't use the radio very often. That's really the only way. Now, it must be coming in. Oh, I think this is where I tell my wingman to return to base, just to get him off. It can be a little bit troublesome if you have a wingman and you are both landing at the same time. they can crash into you or they can crash into the ground, so I find it's, as you're approaching the base, it's just easier to tell them to fly back themselves, sort themselves out, rather than keep trying to maintain formation while you're landing. There's those canals again. Let's go take a look at those. There we go, we got these all sort of water pond irrigation or what have you systems going on here. Let's see, where am I? Oh, there we are. There we go, I don't know if you can see. There's a speck, and that's me. Or my wingman, I don't know. See if we can intercept. And oh, there we go. That's me, because there's no drop tank. Oh, that's the that's one of the other air bases or airfields. Not our one. That's this has actually got a very short runway, so this is very tricky. Yeah, that's a tough one to take off and land at. Oh, flying over a nice... I can't remember which town this is, but let's have a look. You got lovely cathedrals and what have you. There are some cars. There you go, some nice houses. Sometimes there are cars driving around, but none at the moment. Now we're not too far away now. We will go through right until the end, because I want to show you the landing. This is quite possibly, I have to say, as long as the playback works properly, one of my best landings, if I do say so myself. I was pretty chuffed with the landing in this mission. It's quite difficult with the sun in the eyes to see where you're going sometimes. Oh, yep, this is me just having a look. Looking at the map, trying to correlate what I can see are these rivers below, as you can see. These little canals just down there and coming up. And what I'm doing is I'm using the map to see if I can correlate what the canals look like compared to how they're represented on the map, because the map is quite accurate in terms of representing railways, canals, rivers, roads, and so I'm trying to see here these, oh, it's gone now, but these blue lines, and I'm estimating based on these squiggly lines that I'm around about there, so not too far away from the airfields, which I estimate as being around about here somewhere. So we're sort of flying in amongst this collection of zigzaggy blue lines. As you can see, all these kind of rivulets and cross canals. This one here, I think I interpreted as maybe this one here. So as you can see, this bends around to the left, this one bends around to the left. So you can essentially cheat and tell the game to put a little marker where you are on the map, but it's far more rewarding and more realistic to try and correlate what you see with what's on the map. It is a simulator after all, so the more you can do to simulate the reality, rewarding the experience. You can also get very lost. It is a big map, but as long as you've got enough fuel, it's not an issue. They tell you when you're close as well. They tell you cleared for visual and to contact tower. So we may see it here. Not really. unfortunately it's still far too glary to see too much detail. It's up ahead still. So I'll take you through my landing process. There's plenty of other stuff online, especially in the tutorials or other people's videos, of course, that detail how to land. But what's another one, right? Ah, there we are. So I'm going to land on that middle runway, but not just yet. It's quite good, if you can, to do a pass over the runway you want to land on first, and then double back. It just helps to line everything up. You can, of course, land straight away. You don't have to do it this way, but... So I could come in for a landing now, but I'm running too hot. I'm running well over about 425 kilometers an hour, which is much too fast. I'm not even remotely ready, so it's no good at all. So come over around about 100 to 200 meters above the runway. There we go. So, yep, one flies over the runway, and then once you've gone past, ease off on the throttle, try and start to bring the speed down to maybe 350 kilometers an hour. Banking will bleed more energy, so we'll drop down further. Now we're coming down below 350. I've started to lower the flaps now, I think. Yep, there we go. Flaps coming down. As you can see, the wheel turns. They've come down. As you lower the flaps, the alarm comes on. As you can see, now we've turned around. We're running parallel to the runway in the opposite direction. As the flaps come down, the alarm goes on. Essentially, there's nothing wrong. It's just a reminder to say the flaps are down, but your gear is still up. Once the gear is down, the alarm goes off. It's just to stop you landing without your gear, basically. So we're running parallel, really dropping the throttle now. The gear is now coming down. Gear comes down, you got to be under 350 kilometers an hour. Now we're dropping down to 250. Coming in for the final approach. Flaps have now come down a fair bit more, at least 10-20% perhaps. And this is all, you do it mostly by feel. You feel how the engine's, how the plane's handling, you feel how how you're maintaining altitude. Right now as well, we've got the trim all the way up, pulling the nose up, because as soon as the gear comes down and push the nose down, flaps come quite a long way down now. Now we're going to gradually extend to full flaps, lining up for the final approach. You can see the runway directly ahead of us there. Slowing down. Nice lineup. Okay. Now speed, we're just over 200 kilometers an hour. You want to be a bit below 200 at the point where you land. Flaps in full. Pulling on the stick there, up, down. Making sure we... Okay, now we're under 50 meters. Dropping down. Then we flare out as we approach. Pull back, try and get ourselves a 3-point landing. And just as you touch down, not quite, but close enough. Just as you're about to touch down, you tend to throttle up a wee bit, just to give you a bit of extra energy as you come down to stop you thudding onto the ground. Once landing, we bring the flaps up. Oh yeah, before you land as well, always make sure your tail wheel is locked. You do not want that thing flopping around when you hit the ground. Okay, we open the canopy. Flaps are coming up, I think. Yep, there we go. Yep, wheeling them up. Gradually using the foot pedals, the foot brakes, to maneuver ourselves into position. The rear tail wheel is unlocked at the moment, so we can move around. Okay, then wait for a few seconds just for the engine to settle. Then down here you'll see there's the engine stop. Now you'll see I'll flick that up. Oh, yep, the radiator flaps are open. Okay, there we go, that's off. And then there's the kill switch, which will switch off all your electrics. And that's it. Done. Thanks for watching.